Today's podcast is sponsored by Field Agent Canada. If I'm online trying to figure out what to buy, I really like the products that I'm looking at to not only have a good number of reviews to help me make my decision, but I really wish they would be current.
Listen, it's really hard to do that. As a marketer that has worked with a bunch of brands, we're always asking for people to leave reviews, and sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
Then they should be using Field Agent to get reviews on those items. It's inexpensive, it's fast, and Field Agent can do all the work to make sure your online items have enough reviews, and then new reviews will be added each month.
Can Field Agent reviews be placed on items on my brand website as well as with the retailer?
Come on, Phil. Of course they can. You know they can. You just need to supply a list of products and where you want the reviews to be posted. Jeff and his team take care of the rest and get those reviews up and running.
I have to say, the guys at Field Agent, they do love working with companies of all sizes, big and small. So you're going to get great service. And then, if you need 100 reviews or you need 1,000 reviews, 10,000 reviews, these guys can manage that. If you need online reviews, you need Field Agent.
www.fieldagentcanada.com. Hey, welcome to This Commerce Life, an unscripted podcast that focuses on the stories behind small and independent Canadian retail and Canadian CPG.
What we try and do is deliver or pull out the story of our guests and give them to you. The good, the bad, the ugly of retail and CPG in Canada. We're filling a need because we think that retail is hard on the best of days, but it's also a wonderful, wonderful place to grow up and make your living.
We also think that the industry, nor the people that inadvertently find themselves in the industry, really understand the industry at all. They don't really understand what goes on behind the scenes.
So listen to us, Phil and Kenny. We'll unravel it for you. We'll give you the story. We'll give you the story behind the story. Hey guys, Phil here. This is a kind of a special episode, so I happen to be in St. John's for the weekend with the family. We had never been here, and it was on our list of places that we really, really wanted to visit. We've been, quite a few places in Canada, but Newfoundland has always been on the list and we've never been able to make it here, so we finally made it. And what I got was a really amazing surprise. So I came out and got a chance to have coffee with Deborah Gilmet and Tanya Norman. Deborah works, for the government of Newfoundland in the food and beverage sector, and then Tanya Norman also works for the AAFC. And we had a coffee, and then Deborah was kind enough to set us up, to set me up with a chance to meet with the Newfoundland Chocolate Company. So we had coffee at the Newfoundland Chocolate Company, and then I met Christina Dove, who's the owner, CEO, and chocolatier, and gelatotier, and neuroscientist. I know. And she gave me a tour of not only the retail facility, but this facility in the back as well. That's just amazing. Now, this is a physical tour. We didn't take video just because, she had employees back there and we hadn't really asked if anyone was comfortable with it. So she and I recorded. Describing things is not a forte of mine, nor is it second nature. So apologize for the cutting in and out. But she just, Christina was this wonderful, wonderful lady that you'll hear, so very thoughtful, so very cerebral, and is building an amazing brand. All right. Thanks for listening, and hope this is interesting. It's nice to meet you.
Oh, nice
yeah.
to meet you.
Oh my gosh.
So I'll tell you a little bit about
Yeah,
the history.
please.
So
Yes,
started
yes.
18 years ago in the
Okay.
basement and started making chocolate. My background's in neuroscience, so
Okay.
I'm trained as a neuroscientist.
Okay.
So I was all about making chocolate that had no preservatives or additives or no
Okay.
dyes. So I wanted to be able to make things that was
Yeah.
just all natural.
Yeah.
So even the colors that we use is fruit added to white chocolate, so we
Okay.
don't use any dyes or anything like
Okay.
that. So
Okay.
the way we decorate everything we do is all natural.
Okay.
So this, we moved in here. Well, I'll tell you a little bit. So we moved out of our house into Duckworth Street in 2010.
I'm going to leave my backpack
Sorry.
here too.
Yes, of course.
Yeah?
I should have said
Okay.
that. 'Cause it's
Yeah, no,
probably
that's
heavy.
okay. Yep.
And then we just started to build. So
Yeah.
once we knew that it was viable and that people would buy our
Yeah.
chocolate and it wasn't just a touristy thing, it was actually all year round, we could sell it. We did have a place on Duckworth Street, and that's where you see the logo. It's the townhouse kind of thing.
Yep.
That was our place, our headquarters
okay.
in the beginning.
Got it.
So we moved into that in 2010 and started just building the brand. So we were showing up at craft fairs, we were showing up
Yeah.
in different provinces, we were at
Yeah.
craft shows all over the place. And then we started to get into wholesalers across Canada.
Okay.
So we built the brand in that way. So we started to get in retailers, 2 to 3 retailers, little craft shops, and
Yep.
usually artisan, local.
Yep.
And we would show up in like Halifax and then Dartmouth and then go to New Brunswick. So we were in different provinces
Wow.
all across Canada,
Okay.
which was pretty fun because
Yeah.
not only was I was all about making chocolate that was healthier and natural,
Yeah.
but it was also about promoting Newfoundland because it was always the
Yeah.
stories, traditions. So that's when you
Yeah.
see our packaging, you see, stories or a little bit about the culture or some kind of
Okay.
funny traditions that we do or
Okay.
our sayings, things like
Okay.
that you'll notice
Oh,
because
I love it.
was about promoting
Yeah.
Newfoundland across Canada, and that's kind of the
Yeah.
thing is let's promote Newfoundland and let's have people learn a bit more,
Yeah.
learn the stories,
Yeah.
realize how fun and crazy we are at the same time and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So we built built this brand up until, well, we still are, but when we were at Duckworth, we were doing a whole bunch of chocolate classes, chocolate tastings, and just starting to look at
Wow.
cafes.
Okay.
So we opened in, oh my gosh, I think it was 2013. We had a partnership with Parks Canada.
Okay.
We started to show up in the historic sites giving out chocolate. So
Yeah.
campers in the middle of Terra Nova,
Got it.
or hikers up hiking
Yeah.
up across Grossmorn.
Yeah.
So we would show up and give out chocolate. So that started a partnership where we ended up in visitor centers. And we
Okay.
started a cafe in one particular visitor center, which was Signal Hill. And that's where we're going to open
Okay.
June 1st. And that's where we
No
kind of said,
way.
okay,
That's
let's...
so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was our first chocolate cafe.
Okay.
So started making sandwiches inspired by chocolate, of
Yeah.
course. And then a whole bunch of baked goods like cinnamon rolls,
Yeah.
biscotti, all kinds
Yeah.
of different types of cookies and
Yeah.
sandwiches and stuff. And then once we started to do that, and that was kind of a really popular. I wish I could take you to Signal Hill actually, because it's such a cool. We're not opening yet, but it's such
Yeah.
a cool little spot because
Yeah.
it's kind of our original
That's cool.
cafe, and it's cocoa beans
Yeah.
and cocoa trees
Oh,
in the
wow.
coming off the walls
Okay.
and stuff. But so once we did that, then we started to add cafes onto our stores. So our Avalon Mall store has a cafe. Our airport has a cafe. We had stores at the in Halifax that we just opened up and started to have little cafes.
Okay.
So it's kind of how we built it.
Yeah.
And then we moved in here in 2019. We wanted a full service factory. We had 9 stores at the time. And then we were also in retailers
Wow.
across Canada.
Okay.
So we were in every province. At least
Okay.
3 to 4 then selling across Canada and
Yeah.
then shipping chocolate all over the world. So
Is this where you wanted to be? Like when you started kind of
If,
chocolate in the basement?
didn't really know. Didn't really like.
Yeah.
We did have a strategic plan, but we just kind of
Yeah.
went with it. We didn't.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
I mean, business-wise, I guess we broke all the rules because normally you have a plan for the next 5, the next
Yeah.
10, but we just kind of said, okay, well, let's.
I
just
don't
keep
know. I think
running
that's
with it.
revisionist history. I think lots
yeah,
of brands go, I just do it, but really started doing things because you love doing
You
it,
just
right?
do,
So,
yeah, and it's different perspectives. So when I
Yeah.
trained, I went to the Chocolate Academy and trained as a chocolatier, and after so many courses, you become a master chocolatier. So
Ah.
that's kind of cool because then I can avail of a lot of the different experts in the field
Yeah.
as far as chocolate and decorating and I'll get ahead of myself now, but with with gelato too, I started to make gelato. So I went to Italy, loved gelato. So as a master chocolatier, you can ask to be trained in
Oh
a
my
specific
gosh.
thing. So I was trained by Paolo Capolini, who's the Italian
Okay.
gelatoist or gelato chef. So that was kind of cool because I also wanted to. So the way that Italy, it's of course, gelato is an Italian
Yeah.
style
Yep.
of ice cream.
Yep.
And I like that style because it's low fat, high protein.
Yeah.
And it's a healthier version
Yep.
of ice cream.
Yep.
So some people use mixes, but I use it, of course, just like the way I make recipes here with the chocolate.
Yeah.
It's all natural. So I use the cream and the milk, and I
Yep.
boil the cream and milk together, and the protein and fat bind, and then I add the fruit purees or the roasted nuts and that kind
Got
of stuff.
it.
So it's all natural. Your
Got
body
it.
doesn't, it totally recognizes it and breaks it down.
Yeah.
That was one of the things with a lot of our food is some of the stuff in our food, your body doesn't even know what it is because it's so artificial.
Right,
so
right,
that's
right.
something that's really strong value of mine. So then in 2019, yes, we bought this place and renovated it for a number of months into a factory, and it was wonderful. We opened in December, but then the pandemic hit in 2020, so that was a bit tough.
Yeah.
At the time we had 113 staff, so I had to lay off the staff,
That's hard.
which was tough. Yeah, it was always
That's really
it was
difficult.
quite tough because I get really close to our team too. So at that time we didn't actually know how long it would be. So I remember laying off that many people and keeping 6 of us, and then we ran the factory for almost 2 years, keeping it small just to cover bills and stuff.
Yeah.
I did close the 3 stores in Nova Scotia.
Yeah,
pulled
it's
back
stressful,
everything.
right?
Yeah,
because you got all these locations you're paying leases on,
Oh my
and all
gosh.
these
and
things.
the malls, we couldn't get rent free first, right? Or not rent free, rent relief. So at the time,
because it's all landlord driven, right? So
and it wasn't until I think 7 months in that Trudeau changed that, and it was then tenants can apply, right?
Got
But
it.
a lot of those tenants were already bankrupt from paying the rent and stuff.
Yeah.
So we were lucky. We just broke. It was like a force majeure, so we broke the leases, paid a bit to break them.
Okay.
But I knew that we had to build a foundation, like make sure that we were good, because we just opened it. We just built a factory. So usually when you build something this big, you need a bit of money coming in, and you're counting on the sales of your one successful stores, right? So that was a bit tough.
Yeah.
But with here too, it was interesting because even though I laid people off, I sent these people home to their families with so much unknown. Like we didn't know what was going to happen. So keeping connected to all my team as well as running the factory was pretty tough because you feel responsible for everybody, So it was wonderful once we started, we opened and it started kind of opening up again. It was great to actually bring everybody back. But this particular area we're standing in now is it was a quick fix bakery because all the bakeries closed in 2020. And all the prices went up. So flour, everything went up. So I had to start making a lot of our ingredients in-house as opposed to bringing things in from bakeries. So this is what we do. This little area, we make our sugar cookies, our shortbread cookies, our biscotti. All our baked goods are here. And then it enables me to see exactly what's in our products, like what's in our baked goods. So I make sure there's no palm oils and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I can keep track of that. But it also then we can kind of experiment and make all kinds of fun things too, right?
Try
So
some
this
new
is
things.
usually busy. We're just
Awesome.
coming through. So as
Thank
we
you.
walk in, then this is quite a little busy spot where we're baking and all kinds of stuff. And then this is our production facility. So this is where we make all our chocolate. We make about 40,000 chocolates a day. We also do probably about 25,000.
40,000 chocolates a day.
Yeah.
That's craziness.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're correct. Yeah. And we do about 25,000 bars because we do runs of bars every probably about 3 to 4 a day.
Okay.
So we have an incredible team where we do shifts so people can come in depending on what their family life is like. They can come in and work at 6 and get off at 2 or work at 7, get off at, they want to pick up their kids, or if they want to drop their kids off, they can, it's pretty flexible because family is most important. And life, like everybody has lives outside of here and everybody's, got so much other stuff going on. So I want to make work as least stressful as possible, right?
That's very modern thinking.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's
really family focused, very modern thinking.
Yeah. You have to be, my goodness. I mean, these are all, golden.
Yeah.
We just, amazing people.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So this production, it's not running now, sorry.
Okay.
We just finished running it, and now we're going to clean it. But this Hackos machine,
Yeah.
what I bought this machine, it's not to take the place of a person. It actually takes the place of things that were causing us repetitive wrist injury and carpal tunnel.
Okay.
And that's just scraping, shaking, and flipping over the trays. And there's no value in that. Like customers, don't know that we were doing all that by hand.
Yeah.
So I cut that out. Now I have a machine for it. So that's what we do.
Oh, that's cool.
So that at the end of the day, we can stop and we can decorate. So Regine just brought up a tray, and she was decorating. So at the end of the day, we can decorate. And that's the most, for me, that's a value, right? So it's a huge value to hand decorate. We hand decorate all our chocolates as we make them. So this is a strawberry coconut. Do you like chocolate? I was going to give you one. Do you want to try one?
I love chocolate, but I'll get distracted. Maybe later. Maybe
You'll
later.
be chewing it.
Yeah, I'll be.
You'll stop listening to me.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Are you okay if I take some pictures?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to flip this one over because I'm a bit of a crazy person when it comes to... I'll grab a
No, you do you. I'm going to...
I'll flip that over because I'm like a crazy person. So what she does then is she does this, and then she comes along again. Like a crazy person with this. Then she comes along again, and she put like a little white dot. Because what this particular chocolate is, it's strawberry coconut.
Okay.
So the pink is actually the strawberry that we mix into the white chocolate. And then there's a little white dot there, and it's coconut. So, so it's just an indicate. So the way we decorate, sometimes it is kind of hinting.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
Anyway, so here, sorry, we're just kind of cleaning up, but this is the gelato machine, and this is the caramel cooker. And then down this way, we're just cleaned up. So we often do our chocolate truffles here in the window. So we talk to customers and stuff like that while we're making truffles. This is our beans. So I just had a class come in actually. A bunch of kids come through and I talked about the beans. So the cocoa beans, of course, and the cocoa pods. I get couverture, like Belgian couverture in, which is Calabo.
Yeah.
So I have that. And then I just take it and make the recipes, add extra milk, add extra cocoa butter, and then berries and nuts. But I also get beans in. So what I do with the beans is I actually do a specific bean to bar. And it's a black currant bar that black currant from the Flat Rock Vineyards. So they grow right outside in Coochie Cove, I think it is Coochie Cove. No, Flat Rock. My goodness, Flat Rock Vineyards. So they grow it in the Flat Rock Vineyards, and she has it made into a powder, and then I put it right in. So the thing is with me is when I get any berries or anything like that, and if I get them dried, it's I'm really particular about if it's with sulfur because I don't want any sulfites. So usually they're dried by a winery, so that because they don't want sulfites, so they do a freeze-dried method, so it stays like high antioxidants and all that stuff. So there's a lot of thought that people, when I bring people through on tours, people don't realize they're like, oh my gosh, you put so much thought into each, each recipe, each chocolate, and that's something just because I can sleep better at night when I know that I've made sure that this stuff isn't in our food and that kind of stuff. But these pods, so we get these from Venezuela, and all I do is sometimes I'll up the content of our cocoa as well, so I can do 80 to 90%. These beans, have you seen these before? The cocoa pods, they're all different colors on trees and stuff. It takes about 3 years for a cacao tree to yield enough pods to actually, be worth making chocolate from. But so there is beans in those. And we get them from smaller plantations because the bigger plantations are kind of fairly owned by the bigger chocolate companies. And what they do is they cut them open as soon as they're picked, and then they dry them through desiccants and stuff. But what we do is we actually get them when they're dried within. They're just left to dry so that under banana leaves. So the beans dry within the pod, and they absorb all that good pulp, which makes it an incredible multivitamin. So these are, if you have like 3 of these, it's like the equivalent to the iron content that we need that day, right? So it's quite, our body will just recognize it, break it down, and use it. So these are like little vitamins. So I do sell the beans as well, but
that's awesome.
It's kind of fun just to get different ones in because I do tastings where depending on where I get
Yeah.
the cocoa beans, there's different flavors in the
Right.
soil. It's much
Right.
like wine
Yeah, or
and like
coffee.
coffee.
Yeah,
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 so
yeah.
I can get like Saint Dominique, which has like wine. It's in the
Okay.
grape vineyard, so I
Yeah.
can have beans that kind of taste a
Yep.
little bit like wine, and they're really good with
Yeah.
wine tastings. But yeah, so
Wow.
it's always lots of
Very
interesting.
thoughtful, huh?
Yeah,
very.
yeah. So
Okay.
as we go down here, this is our slower part of our day, but Kamal is making chocolate. Which one are you making? Oh, there. I come
Hi.
up behind you. Hi. So what she's doing is what we do is we make a shell, so we pour
Okay.
chocolate in,
Oh, and you
and then
fill it with
flip
something.
it out, and then we fill it with something. So that's what
God
she's
bless
doing.
you.
So yeah, so this is,
Amazing.
we just shake it so that it levels out and all the air bubbles come up, and then
Got
that's
it.
how we kind of make our So
Amazing.
so each day when people come in, they have tasks where they
Yeah.
get the certain recipes that we need made,
Okay.
and then they just come and they set up their station and.
And off they go.
And off they go. Yeah.
Wow,
So these
amazing.
baker's racks are
Okay.
they're just like normal
Yeah.
baker's racks. My youngest son, he spent his summer cutting them to fit the molds. So I don't know
really?
if he's traumatized
Yeah.
now when he sees racks, but anyway, he did a fantastic job. But we have loads of these everywhere,
Oh my
so that
gosh.
they're on wheels, and then we can move them around according to what we're making.
Yeah.
These here are NL bars, so this is the same thing. It was the shell, and now we've just covered them in caramel, and now we're going to close them. So we just kind of
NL
cover them with
bars.
chocolate. Yeah, so we're
Okay.
NL Saints with
Yeah.
the flag, and so we have a lot
Okay.
of fun with those bars. But
Oh, I love that.
so we make, and then we'll just put a little bit of Newfoundland sea salt sprinkled on it as well, because of course you got to have Newfoundland sea salt.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Yes.
So actually, another thing we do with the caramels, which I'll show you,
Yeah.
is I'm always looking at different ways to add different flavors to our caramel. So that was one of the things too. During the pandemic, I couldn't get Belgian caramel in, so started to make our own caramels,
Okay.
which was wonderful. So now we make peanut brittle, and we make butternut crunch, and we make honeycomb.
Yeah.
And then we also make caramels where I use the Earl Grey tea from Newfoundland Tea Company.
Oh, that's
I
amazing.
just boil the
Yeah.
leaves in the cream,
Okay.
and then we put it right into the caramel. I do that with the black currant as well from the farm. So I'm always using different. I'm
Yeah.
trying to get as much
As
local
much
berries from
Love it.
locals as possible, and always kind of trying new flavors and stuff, which is fun, right? So what's Peter doing? Oh, Peter's cleaning up. Okay. So then down this way is our white milk and dark chocolate.
Okay.
So our white chocolate is it's milk and cream and vanilla.
Okay.
So it's no cocoa in it, but it's cocoa butter. So
Yep.
it's quite a popular
Wow.
one. People love to have that creamy
Yeah.
white chocolate.
Yeah.
And then this is our milk chocolate. So
chocolate,
it's
yeah.
34% cocoa.
Yeah.
And this is our standard 54% cocoa. So this one, we do make darker ones, but this one people tend to be, this is our
Yeah.
most popular. So
Okay.
we do our 54%. So it's, and these are stirring. I don't know if have you ever made chocolate before? Have you? So
Yeah.
you know this process.
Well, I know what it looks like when you don't stir it.
Oh, okay. Because
Yeah,
so when I
yeah.
trained, of course, I learned how to hand temper and
Yeah.
stuff, and I've taught them all to hand temper.
Okay.
But these machines enable us so we don't have to stop and hand temper, because sometimes you're tempering, you make chocolate, you're starting to make the chocolate, like do the recipes,
Yeah.
and then it comes out of temper because of the air, the
Yeah,
humidity,
yeah.
everything
you lose
going
track,
on.
anything,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So
And-
these machines have been brilliant because they're constantly stirring and constantly changing temperature,
Yeah.
so that the crystals bind together and it stays crystallized, and that enables us then. We don't need to use anything that forces the temper.
Yeah.
We do it naturally. So
Okay.
this
Okay.
we need it tempered in order to have that stability and that shelf life. So that's why you'll notice that I invest in a lot of extra machines in order to not need artificial stuff and to do it naturally.
Got it.
The same thing with gelato. I didn't really go through gelato because we just stopped making it for the day. But the same thing, we boil the milk.
I love that you are what do you
Neuroscience.
You're a neuroscientist, but you
Yeah.
also what's the certification you get for
Oh,
being
master.
a gelato expert?
It's a gelatoist, which
A
is such a strange,
gelatoist.
so gelato chef, I guess. So
I love it.
yeah,
love
kind of
it.
funny. So with the gelato too, it's just we sterilize the milk and
Yeah.
cream so that the fat and protein have to bind together, so that we don't have to use any kind of additive like artificial preservatives. So we use it naturally. So what we do when we push it through the machine, it's at 80 degrees. As it goes down to -7, it's starting to like kind of churn up the cream and all the berries and nuts that we add, and then it comes out. And once it comes out of that freezer, we only actually have 2 days to sell it because it starts to break down.
Really? Okay, got it.
So I have another freezer there. Yeah, I have another freezer that's called a blast freezer, and that actually freezes it into a stability. So I have 2 weeks to sell it, which is perfect. I don't have to add anything to maintain shelf life, and I can still have enough time to actually sell it naturally. So, yeah.
Awesome. Oh, sorry.
So then down
Can
here.
I take a picture?
Oh
of
my
this?
gosh, yeah, it's a bit best.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is an awesome. Oh, this would be a great little video. Okay, awesome. Thank you.
So then this here, this here, when we pull all the racks out of, so we push all the racks into the cool room. We're pulling them out now because it's 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
I should show you. I do make I'll show you this.
Thank you.
So I'm a potter.
Are
This is one thing. When I met Deborah, I had applied for a grant because I'm a potter. So I was doing pottery and selling pottery all over Canada.
You're a neuroscientist, a gelatoist, and a potter.
I know, so I tend not to. Yeah, so so I carve the molds. So, because in pottery, that's what I can do. So this is a cape lamp that I carved, and I made a mold. There's a cape lamp.
That's so cute.
And then I had the mold, like I did a silicone mold, and then I did a polycarbonate mold. So I can, it's kind of cool, a bit of a cool skill, because then I can make molds that are custom, right? So I can do all kinds of Newfoundland. Are you cold?
No, I'm good. This is amazing.
I can.
No, I'm good. This is great.
So so we pull all the molds out, we let it get to room temperature, and then we bin them. And the way, it's funny because my mom, I did a neuroscientist, and I'm doing my PhD, and my mom was like, okay, you're going to go into medicine, and I had this chocolate company on the side. I'm like, I don't know, I'm going to keep with the chocolate company. But she keeps asking me when I'm going into medicine. But I keep telling her it's transferable skills. I'm using all my skills into the chocolate. And this is an example of kind of the thought process, I think, with neuro. It's one thing about the artificial dyes and all that stuff, because you see how it builds up in the body and in the brain. But this is another example. I'm always working on making the factory inclusive and neuro-inclusive. So when you see these, I'll just give you an example. So say this one here, this is the one you were just looking at, so it's strawberry coconut. So all the codes on all the cards have recipe codes, or some people, when I hire them, they remember numbers, pictures, colors, codes, all kinds of stuff. I also have braille on things, and I have sign language as well. So, and on the other flip side of the stations, I hire a lot of people from all over the world, and sometimes English isn't their first. And Newfoundland English is quite hard to learn because we shorten words and we speak really fast, which you might have to slow down. Sorry
I have noticed that. It's taken me a little bit of time.
It's like, what did you just say? Did you tell me off, or do you like me? So it's a lot.
Well, it could be both.
That's right, both. Yes, that's true. So on the other side, I do have codes where it's some people have come over from Ukraine, like just different languages that I've had on the cards, so that people, because so many times you're already limited in life, and to start a job and be limited, it's nice to welcome people and start off with, okay, we are ready to communicate in your style, whatever style you can communicate in, and work from that. So that's kind of where, it's a nice way to start. So anyway, so I look at this, I'm like, oh my gosh, it needs so much work. But just to talk about, like, number 1 there means milk chocolate, number 2 means dark chocolate, number 3 means white chocolate. And all these other numbers are actually ingredients. So one is milk chocolate, the other one is milk chocolate, of course, and then 15 is strawberry, and 41 is coconut. So it's milk chocolate with strawberry and coconut in milk chocolate that's filled inside. So what I've done is I've created a team that actually, when they see numbers, they think of fruit. That's synesthesia, right? So when you see numbers and when you see fruit, you think of numbers. So I've kind of combined some of that. But anyway, yeah, so that's kind of how I've set it up, so that people then, whatever they remember, they remember.
But that's amazing, though, right? Because it actually helps with, like, we've done a lot of podcasts and we've seen a lot of production.
Yeah.
And along the way, there is a lot of confusion, right? Because people, when you get stuck on a word, you get stuck on a word.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then we wind up flipping everything upside down because you're like, I know what happens in noisy environments and I'm trying to articulate something.
Yes.
But this is easily the cleverest thing I've ever seen, right? Because, no, really, right? Because, other people go, strawberry,
Yeah,
strawberry,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like the picture, you know, and then you run into other problems.
Yeah.
But this is very definitive, right? Because
Yeah.
you learn the lexicon, you're good to go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
very,
Yeah.
very smart.
And pink means wild berries. So when you see pink on a sign,
Right.
it just means all the chocolate has wild berries in it.
yeah.
Whereas blue means nuts. Like, so we kind of do a whole bunch of things. And within production, people don't tend to notice unless they're working in production, but everything has braille on it. And everything has like different codes and
Very
stuff like
inclusive.
that, just so that we can be as
Yeah.
inclusive as possible.
Wow.
And I'm always working on that because
Yeah,
I'm sure
yeah.
I do it wrong all the time. But
that's
anyway, it's just
amazing.
being open to the fact that I
Yeah.
am doing it wrong all the time and I'm ready to
You're
learn.
not doing it wrong
No,
all
no,
the
but-
time. I don't think you're
no,
doing
but you know what I
anything
mean.
wrong.
As
I
a
I do.
leader, yeah,
do.
like I don't want anyone to ever come in here and be nervous
Yes.
to tell me no, this is
Yeah.
actually not right, or you
Yeah.
know, I want people
Yeah.
to say, hey,
Yeah.
fix it,
Yeah, yeah,
so that
yeah.
I can do it better.
Yeah.
So Bill
Wow.
Fair, he actually just
Hi.
started yesterday.
Oh,
He's amazing.
Welcome.
And he's piping like awesome, like an expert.
Wow,
You are
amazing.
awesome. Yeah, no, you're excellent. No, that's awesome.
Yeah, awesome.
So as we go in here, this is our packaging department, all our wall of bark. This is all the stuff we've actually binned in the past probably 2 hours. So then we take all this and we put it in the dish pit. And then this is all our bars.
I know.
It's a lot of chocolate
it's a
all
lot of
around
chocolate.
you.
Yeah. Like, it's amazing. Like, it's, the wall of bark.
The wall of bark and the wall of
love
bars.
it.
Yeah,
Like, for listeners, I'm looking at
Oh.
I'm looking at these totes and
Sorry,
they're
there's
full.
no
No, that's
visuals.
okay. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Like, I'm looking
Well,
at
sometimes just
like
thinking of it.
lots and lots of totes and full of wonderful chocolate bars.
Yeah.
Like, of all shapes, flavors, size, orange toffee, dark wild berry bark, wild
Strawberry
almond,
cheesecake
white
is my
almond
favorite.
bark. Oh my gosh, so amazing.
So then as we go through here, this is the other side, of course,
Okay.
of all our chocolates. So we have all our different types of chocolates here, and then we pull them to bins. So we pull chocolates according to whatever we're binning that day. So
Okay.
if we're suddenly out of Explorer series,
Yeah.
and I have I have 6 different types of series. I have a Quiet Cove, Smiling Land. These are the names of them. Quiet Cove, Smiling Land,
Okay.
Lighthouse. Quiet Cove, Smiling
4
Land,
o'clock.
Explorer, Lighthouse.
It's 4 o'clock.
Blank.
It's
Caramel,
okay. Yeah.
and Rum Runners. But
Yeah.
so these then, the Lighthouse is like some people. It's a selection of just dark chocolate. Some people just like dark chocolate, so I offer that. And then milk chocolate is the same thing. Quiet Cove,
Yeah.
all our milk chocolate with berries and nuts.
Yeah.
And then Jigs and Rails is all our different, everything we make. So it's milk, white, and dark, our berries, and our nuts. And what I did was I did themes for every selection. So Jigs and Rails, I named a chocolate. There's a map and I'll show it to you down there. But it's a map, and every chocolate is named after a music, like after Jigs and Rails, so after a song
I got it.
in Newfoundland that everybody knows and everybody does a dance to.
Hey.
So, and then our Quiet Cove, each chocolate is named after a certain, like a little area, a little
Yeah.
cove that is just lost or
Okay.
isolated or not forgotten though, just
Okay.
a beautiful little spot. And Smiling Land tends to be the little spots where everybody goes to pick berries. So blueberries, bake apple, cranberries.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Got
So,
it.
so I did all these different themes.
Wow.
And then here,
Wow. I'm going to take a
When
picture
I
of your
hire
wall
someone-
of bark.
oh, the one.
Yeah, because everyone's going to
That's-
hear it all the listeners will know I've got my mouth open, but they won't know why. So, yeah.
When you've gone
Amazing.
speechless.
Yeah.
So this is an example
Okay.
of the lighthouse. So this is just one that actually doesn't have the
wow.
braille on
Yeah.
it. It's English, but
Yeah.
I do have different ones with
Yep.
different languages. So this one is just, we lay it out so that whoever is going to assign
Yeah.
to do the
Oh, so then
lighthouse,
they're going to put
they
together
can,
a little
yeah,
box.
so they set up all the bins
Yeah.
and then they package. So they do all the boxing. So we're actually finished boxing today. So, but anyway, so, and that way it's great because people stand up and they can listen to music or they can listen to podcasts, they can listen to books, and they can package. I've had a good few people learning English on their audio
Yeah.
while they're
God.
doing, so it's kind of cool. And oftentimes, like when I hire people, actually I cross-train them so that people who work in production or like as chocolatiers or they're working in retail, they can move into packaging, sit down, watch a movie, get used to the team around them, new people around them, have a chat. And it's really good because then everybody appreciates everybody. Chocolatiers aren't more important than packagers. Packagers aren't more important than shippers. So everybody kind of gets experience in all the different areas. And they also get to know each other in different teams as well, which is really good. And people are from all over the world, so it's pretty brilliant, their perspectives. But it's just amazing. Like when I look, they're incredible backgrounds and what they bring to the team.
So you put, so we met some amazing leaders, and I would say you've put so much thought and consideration because it's hard to run a company, right? Like you know, the days in the basement, your first stretches, you're like,
it's like, okay, we've got to sell something.
I've got to sell some stuff. I'm in debt. I got to pay for some stuff. Do I have any money left? Can I feed myself? Right? Like, oh my God, we got to close stores. And you're doing all of that. You're running 40,000. Oh my God, and then you've also like put so much thought into how these guys work.
I try. It's never good enough. Like I feel like I can make it a whole lot better, but at least I'm trying anyway to make it a whole lot better.
Trying. This is amazing.
Yeah. So okay. So I'm going to take you through.
Okay.
As we go through, Priyanka is just finishing boxing. I can't. So she just finished boxing Lighthouse. Actually, I'll show. Do you want? Let's show them what it. So this here, like we've just boxed it. She was boxing a whole bunch of chocolates today, and then she's put it through the sealer. So this seals this so that we can send it all over the world and it's protected. And then these are the maps that we put in. So this is a 30-piece lighthouse, which is all dark chocolate, and it's all the lighthouses. So it's named after all the places that have lighthouses.
No way!
So
That's so
Carpoon
cool.
Island, Twillingate.
Yeah.
So it hurts. Like they all have different lighthouses, and we have them all named and stuff.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, so little stories about lighthouses. So it's fun to do different themes, different series. So I'm always kind of working on more different themes and everything. So down here, here's Shelley. She's wrapping, and Mary. Hello, Mrs. So Mary's a chocolatier, normally working in production and down in packaging now, which is awesome because she's so fast in packaging too, kind of making these Newfoundland dogs. But it's nice to take a break and move throughout the company. So Shelley runs packaging, and she slows down. This is Phil. So usually you can't see her fingers. She's really fast. So she's slowing down to show us. But she packages. She was our first packager 10 years. 10 years. Actually, my parents were my first packagers. Actually, my children were, which I probably should take that off.
Listen, I'm Asian. The children, as soon as they can help, they're helping. Like that's the way it works.
I fed them chocolate and stuff. It was fine. Anyway, and then my parents packaged, and then we found Shelley. So Shelley's been running packaging for so many years, and from Duckworth Street to here. So we're just labeling some of our bars can't go through this machine. Oh, I didn't even show you the machine. So some of these bars can't go through because our almonds, as you can see, I'm going to grab this from you, is we put a whole bunch of almonds in the back of it. So they will get stuck in the machine. So some of our bars are like that, are wall berries, because the berries are popping out, all kinds of stuff. So, and this machine, actually, Sergeant is just cleaning it up. But he runs that machine. And what that is, I wanted to be able to, with all the rising costs in everything, I don't like to touch wages, so I like to keep continuing to increase wages, but I also like to I don't like to touch quality, so I want to always not limit who I get our quality beans from or our quality berries, that kinds of stuff. So what I can do though is change the way we do things, some of our procedures and our processes, so that I can cut those labor costs, so that we can still make things and be competitive in the market. So that machine is an example. So we can push through all the rest of our row house bars that we make and our NL Sains bars, and then that packages it really quickly. So what it does is, he's just cleaning it there now, but we push them through, it puts a liner on it, and then it labels it, and it pops out. So it's quite fast, and it enables us then to be able to sell the chocolate and not increase the price, but still kind of be able to package it at a lower price, which is great, because then we can offer that to hotels and Airbnbs and stuff that usually were getting chocolate for a lot cheaper from bigger chocolate companies. So we try to stay competitive as best we can. That's my way.
We're like a big company, little company, big company.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. So we're trying. Yeah. So you'll notice there's shelves of snacks. So that was one of the things during the pandemic. I had an eye to always making sure that we were selling what we needed to sell, and we had products that were still popular. So during the pandemic, our box chocolates, which were our best sellers, dropped because people stopped buying box chocolates. So then people started buying snacks, and that's all they wanted. So I started to create these marshmallow Bergie Bites, which is just marshmallow enrobed in milk chocolate. And then we make popcorn, which is caramel drizzled and chocolate drizzled popcorn. It's hard to go back to normal popcorn now, I must say. And then the chocolate covered chips. So we do a salted caramel chocolate.
Like 100 pounds heavier
chips.
if I worked
No,
here.
it's all healthy. No, because you eat it and you're really happy and you burn off all that.
Okay. I'm not going to argue. You're the neuroscientist. I can't argue with you, so that's all right. That's all right. I'm a willing and able participant. So.
So then this is just an example of some of the things we do.
Yeah.
We do our So
s'mores.
we make the graham crackers here, of course. So they're homemade, and then the marshmallow we make, and then we just
that is the nicest
do our little
s'more
chocolate,
kit I've ever seen.
And then our marshmallow hearts and our rubber boots. We have fun with our rubber boots, so we do decorated rubber boots where we hand decorate. So we have a bit of fun with the hand decorating, and then we also have rubber boots where we just add the capelin, and then we also, everybody tends to love the shoes because we do a lot of chocolate shoes.
Go for the heels first.
We go for the, and we do the chocolate, that's so pretty, the chocolate.
It is, it's
beautiful. It's a really pretty shoe. And then we have the mousse as well, which people love.
Everybody loves
when
mousse.
they're mousse hunting and they don't get a mousse. They come here and they buy the chocolate mousse.
Arguably, there's no hating on hunters here, but arguably this is a nicer mousse.
This is a better, I feel like that about the capelin because I grew up, my dad used to go down with his hip rubbers and we'd all go down to Mill Cove and get the capelin, and then I'd smell like capelin. I'd go to school and we'd all smell like capelin for a week because have you had capelin?
I have.
It's not that great. Or do you like it?
Yeah.
Do you like
I don't mind it. I don't mind it, but it's not.
So I thought, I gotta appreciate capelin a bit better than I do. So I started making the chocolate capelin. And that's
I would choose this capelin over the.
It's quite
normal.
nice. Yeah. So then we're just kind of starting to get ready for Father's Day now.
Yeah.
So this was full of Mother's Day. It was full of Easter. It was full of Valentine. We kind of always switching it out.
Yeah.
And then this is more of our snacks. We started making honeycomb, which is a really crazy seller. So we use Newfoundland
That's cool.
honey.
Toffee. Got it.
Yeah. So it's we just boil it at a different way. Hit different temperatures than our chewy caramel, and then add a little bit of baking soda, and that's what causes it to bubble because it's just this chemical reaction. And then there's lots of, it's like the crunchy bar. Although
Listen,
I shouldn't
lady,
say that
you do the smart thing. I just eat them.
I know.
It's got bubbles,
I took a group of kids through, and their science group, and I was talking about the I think protein and fat binding and why I don't use why I don't use oils and why I don't use preservatives, and they were just like, can we just have a sample?
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, sorry. I was getting too excited about the science. So anyway.
No, but I think it's amazing, like the science behind making texture, right? Like,
And also, it's a huge part of the business, which I never really realized, is about making sure the dynamic, like the culture is so important to me. And that was one of the things I didn't realize when starting the company. I was just like nice to everybody and just trying to make sure that everybody was felt good about coming to work. But that has become a really strong value in me as well as everybody else. Like everybody who comes here, they realize, oh my gosh, we got to make sure that if I'm rubbing up against this person wrong, because I do, you know, then they work at it, or they'll come to me if they, you know, like just for help. And that is a really cool thing that I didn't see coming. And I don't know if I'm making sense at all, but
no, you're making a lot of sense.
Yeah, like I hire people from all over the world, but also different, like neurodiverse. So I have a lot of people on the spectrum and a lot of people with ADHD, and just what they bring to the table is incredible. But what they've been, I think, going through different jobs and going through the life up until here, sometimes they've been misunderstood, you know? Yeah. So sometimes I've had people where, you know, sometimes I know a lot about like contrast sensitivity and the lighting and the sounds and everything, or putting them near a fan or anything like that. Like I want people to be able to say, hey, this is not good for me. So where can I go where I can work best and I can feel comfortable? So
again, forward thinking, right?
Yeah, like and you want people to not get offended and say, hey, we're all here. Or, you know, you want people to respect each other in that way. And so we do these lunch and learns, and that's kind of cool because we have different people, like even School for the Deaf come in and they teach us a bit more about sign language.
I saw your sign language.
Oh, yeah. So, and even with Braille, I just started to kind of reach out because it's so important. We all live here, and just sometimes we don't notice when people are struggling, and sometimes those people who are struggling are so used to not saying anything. And so it's so important to kind of encourage that respect as soon as you start here, you know. So, so I get kind of lost in that because it's so important. Even when I hire people from Ukraine, and when they came over a couple of years ago, and they were just, you know, brought to Newfoundland. They wanted to be home. So coming here, you want to welcome them, and you don't want to say, okay, you know, like sometimes some people, they felt like they were temporary and they were going to go back home, but just kind of making sure that they were comfortable here for as long as they want, you know, they were here. Yeah. So, and I still have, quite a few people on staff that are from Ukraine, and what they bring, like everybody's perspective is so incredible. So just making sure that people speak up and that they have that kind of communication, no matter what their communication style is, that they have that chance. So that's why I do brainstorming. I bring the whole team together, and that's kind of one of the things I did with the NL bars was I brought the whole team together, and I said, okay, we don't want to just say Happy Valentine's on a bar. Yeah. What can we say? And everybody pipes up and says a whole bunch of things. Nobody's shy. And some of the stuff you never put on a bar because it's like, oh my God, I'm not doing that. Like, thanks, but you know, that's a bit too racy. I'm not doing that. But it's fun, right? Because then you're, people are throwing out different ideas, right? Yeah. So it's fun. And we do that for our products too. People come up with all kinds of ideas of what we should be doing with our products and what stories we could be telling and stuff. So, so it's fun.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. They weren't kidding. Deborah said, "Oh, there's so much more. Just you wait."
Oh.
And I was like, "Okay.
There's so much more to the factory, or
no.
I guess I do put
all
a lot of thought.
Like, I think there's way more, to the shop, the factory, the way you've approached it. It's so.
This is for all our cafes. So this is our ingredients and stuff, and then this is our shipping area. So we ship everything out then through their loading doors. Yeah. And it goes all over the world. Hello there, buddy. So this is all our marketing posters for the past 18 years. So these were, posters that we'd put out on the sidewalk, and we'd have it there just to try to grab people to come into Duckworth. So when I walk by, it's such a history for me of all the things we tried and all the things we did, and we continue to do. So I'm always adding to that.
Are we at the beginning or at the end?
No, I kind of jumbled. So
you jumbled
this was done during. When we shut down during COVID, because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so stressed. So I started to put all the posters up.
And fantastic. But it's like a legacy of where you come from.
Yeah, it is actually. It's quite neat. It's funny to look at some of the posters and you're like, oh my gosh, those chocolates aren't stellar. They're not the great quality they are now. Like some of the decorations, it looked like I was, not so great at. But yeah, we've come a long way. And even when you look and see, I mean, some of the values, it kind of jumps out out at you, like how we push, we talk about Newfoundland, and we have fun with our sayings, and we have lots of jokes about different aspects or different parts of our culture in the posters. But we also celebrate Canada, and we do, Canadians, great Canadian bunnies, where we named them after 3 Canadians. That's Stuart McLean. Like it's kind of cool. And then, of course, the Newfoundland sayings bars.
Stuart McLean is such
loved him. So we always had we always had him playing in production, and still his stories are incredible. So
love the stories.
and then we get whimsical and kind of funny. We got a bit of a sense of humor there, and so we talk a lot about, like, we're always promoting either Newfoundland or stories about Newfoundland or the chocolate itself or different parts of Canada, different historic sites that we visited that we kind of promote. Yes, we have a lot of fun with all the different marketing campaigns. Yeah, so we actually use Brewed Awakening and Grossmorn, which are both locally roasted in Newfoundland. Always looking for more local berries, everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. For the listener, we're like, there's like, I don't know, what is this, 100 feet?
Yes. Yeah,
about probably 100 feet of like double stacked posters, and they are amazing. Some of them are old throwbacks, some of them are new, but they are like a legacy of all the things that you've tried along the way.
All the different products that we've tried and all the different events that we've been in. So we've done a lot of different chocolate events with tastings and classes and chocolate buffets and stuff. And this is actually an example of, like, when I look at it, I'm like, oh my gosh, the chocolate has a foot. That's what that's called. When you're first learning how to make chocolate, and you're like, I'm going to get better at this. But I don't know why I had pictures of them done, because I look at that and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so bad. That's such a bad chocolatier. But that was... But with the air bubbles and stuff, so we don't do that anymore. We've come a long way. So so we make.
I'm not that experienced, but
no,
I do get the foot, and it annoys me too. And I don't know how to...
and that's when I was first learning. So but now to look back at that and say, okay, these are much better than these. I'm glad we've come a long way. And I mean, our chocolatiers now. I was trained as a chocolatier, and I do jump in and make chocolate still, but we have incredible chocolatiers now that have become so much better than me, of course, and decorate so much better than me, and
Wow. I really love it. I love it.
So it's
I'm just gonna take a video of the whole thing.
Sure.
Because it's amazing. This is I'm just taking footage that you guys will see on the site, but it's just super cool. Like she's really double stacked these posters, and it's kind of amazing. I love what you do. I really do.
Thank you.
I love it.
Thank you.
No, really, it's
I wish you could meet more of the team. They're pretty incredible, actually. So, and then we have a bit of fun. We haven't gotten in trouble with some of them, so that's good. I wondered sometimes if we would get in trouble.
It's a little cheeky. Why not? Right? Why not?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. So did you have any questions or anything like that?
No, thank you for taking me on this tour. I love it.
Welcome.
I love it a lot.
Sorry, it's so messy. I always say that. I'm like, I have more to clean, but
you know what?
It's a working factory. So
in retail, we talk about that a lot, because sometimes you go to stores, and we always talk about, like, the bomb just happened, and then so retailers that are really good at what they do will go, I'm so sorry, because right now there's holes on shelf, and but you know, right? Because you know it's busy, and that's why. Yeah. And then sometimes you go into retail stores, you're like, guys, it's not busy. Like, your job is to keep it, filled and looking nice, right? But you're this looks
Correct.
It looks like you've just pushed 40,000 pieces of chocolate through here. So
Each day. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, I love it.
Yeah, we're a busy spot,
Wow.
but yeah, and then we've done the gelato, of course, too. So we've made all kinds of gelato for tomorrow.
Amazing.
So that's going to be tasty. Yeah, it's always a busy day, but I just like at the end of each day, it's just like I'm just feeling so lucky of the team. You know, because I think when you first start, you think, okay, how am I going to do this on my own? You know, like you're just kind of, how are we going to do
They're
this
lucky
so that
to
we...
have you, though.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
They really are.
Here comes Sanjay.
Yeah. Sorry.
Sanjay's from Jamaica, so when he
Yeah.
first came here, do you remember when he first came? He came in, there was the first snow. There was a snowball.
my first snow.
Yeah,
No way.
so I took him out, and
Okay.
he only had sandals on, which we made sure
Oh,
that he
wow.
started to wear socks
Okay,
and stuff.
yeah.
But we had,
Yeah.
this sounds bad, I guess, on podcast, but we started to throw snowballs at him.
Oh my gosh, hilarious.
So I don't think we traumatized you. I think it was good.
awesome.
It's pretty fun though, right? Like it's the only thing in the world you can probably get hit by where you're actually laughing about it, right? So
You were laughing. Yeah, you got chilled though.
That was fun.
Okay, see
you.
you. He's awesome. Yeah, so we have quite the people. Yeah, it's funny because some of our team are they're so used to the heat, and I'm always apologizing for our weather. But anyway, so where are you from?
I'm from Toronto.
Oh, you're from Toronto.
Yeah,
so you have nicer weather.
Yeah.
Okay.
We actually don't. We haven't had nicer weather than you guys.
No, actually,
Like,
this winter
yeah.
you've had a weird time because
Yeah.
you've had snow.
Well, we've
like,
had old school winter this
Yeah,
year. Like
yeah.
so when I was a kid, I
Canadian
remember
winter.
this. I remember like, you know, March we can still ski because there's still snow in March. But the last 10 years in Toronto has been very mild.
Yeah.
And then this
yeah.
year we got, I think, what is
Oh, sorry, Jen.
way more of a traditional winter for us.
Yes.
And
yeah.
that's
yeah.
been something of a surprise to everybody.
It
else. But,
yeah.
But if you grow up
Yeah.
in Toronto, everyone goes, yeah, this is our childhood. Like, we remember this. We remember snow days. We remember,
Oh, you
like,
do?
yeah.
Okay, I didn't realize.
Yeah,
Yeah. It always
Yeah.
seemed like everybody had so much nicer weather than Newfoundland, but I'm just used to it. Like
Yeah.
we're used to it.
I
so
don't know.
it's
Yeah, so
kinda-
we looked at the weather. Like, it's like 0 at night, 10 degrees during the day.
Yeah.
Toronto's only a little bit better.
it was
We're
like
5 degrees at
25 to
night
30
and
degrees or
15.
something.
Well, we've been spiking, so we
Oh,
get some
okay.
18s and 20s,
Oh,
and then
okay.
it'll drop right back down to 5. So it's fighting us all the way into the summer. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. Out west, they're getting really good weather. Though.
They are, yeah. I just came back. I actually flew up. My younger son, my older son's
Yeah.
here. He just finished at Dalhousie, so he's
Nice.
back.
Yeah.
He just graduated with creative writing. But my younger son is in Victoria, so I just went up to
Oh,
visit, and I
okay.
could not believe. I
Oh.
think it was March. It was cherry blossoms everywhere.
That's
It was
annoying.
just such
no?
a different
like,
world.
You could wear
It's
shorts.
like, I
and
know. Well, that's why he loves it up there because he can bike all year
Yeah,
round, and he
yeah.
keeps telling me how he hasn't
Yeah.
shoveled and like
Yeah,
the time he's
yeah.
lived up
Yeah,
there.
yeah, I know, you know.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yes, that was
amazing.
wonderful. Hey guys.
Oh,
that's
sorry.
okay. Thank you.
Thank
See you
for-
guys.
Thank you for doing this. I
Oh
really
my gosh,
appreciate it.
no
Yeah.
problem. Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I don't know if I chatted too
No,
long and you
not
were like
at
out
all.
of time.
No, not at all.
Okay,
Not at all.
wonderful. So
Yeah,
how long
yeah.
are you here?
I'm here till Monday afternoon.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's a
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Wow. So
Yeah,
do you have a lot of other
So-
businesses you're
no,
visiting? or?
so I actually came because I know I met Deborah last year at Food and Beverage Atlantic.
Oh, okay.
At the award ceremony, and I
Oh,
thought
nice.
I'm coming out, and like I'd never been to Newfoundland, and I wanted to come.
Yeah.
And so my family's coming out tomorrow.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
so
okay,
sorry.
Philip.
Yeah.
We're standing in the hallway, it's okay.
The family's coming out tomorrow.
Yeah.
My 80-year-old in-laws are coming with them.
Oh my
and they're
gosh.
Filipino, so they've never, so I've been like, okay, so smaller city,
Yeah.
Canadian city. Like, yeah, we've been to Vancouver. I'm like, it's not Vancouver.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not. Okay, well, anyway, you should come, and so we'll have some fun this
So
weekend.
how old are they?
So they're 87.
Oh my
and
gosh!
86.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, I hope it's nice.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
It's okay. It's
Yeah.
Canadian. Like,
I know. Yeah.
put on a
So I always
jacket
hope
and a
that it's
hat.
nice
It'll be
weather.
fine.
Yeah. And so have you been to Signal Hill and all
So-
that? I wish we were
No,
open. But
no,
we,
I
oh, okay.
haven't, yeah,
So you have
yeah.
to drive up.
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't.
yeah, we
I
don't
think
do
it's
all
pretty
that, so-
clear out there, so
Okay.
it'd be nice to see. We're supposed to
Okay.
be. I think we're surrounded by like 450 icebergs right now around Newfoundland. So there's icebergs everywhere. So
Sorry,
it won't be
but
hard. No,
yes.
people love the icebergs.
Yes,
Yeah.
love the
yeah,
icebergs,
Yeah. And then it won't be till June. Usually, like the whales. yeah, they follow the capelin. So as the
Okay.
capelin roll in, then the
Got
whales
it.
come in. So that's the closest the
Okay.
whales come in is when the
Okay.
capelin are rolling.
Okay.
And that's kind of cool to see capelin
Yeah.
rolling, but that's a bit early right now.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
yeah.